Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today I'm going to show you how to build this snowy log cabin inside of Minecraft. So here is a full materials list of all of the items that we're going to be using in today's build. We'll start off on the top row here with all of the dark oak wood that we're going to be using, and I should probably mention stripped dark oak wood. These blocks right here are crafted by having 4 of these in a crafting table just like so. It will give you 3 of these, but you do need 4, so make sure you grab them too. We then have all of the spruce blocks that we're going to be using, and then just underneath that we have the rest of the wooden items. And lastly, everything else is basically miscellaneous items, so I just do a quick scroll over in case you're not sure as to what some of them are. But of course you're going to need 3 flowers or saplings or something to go inside the flower pots here. You don't need to grab a light grey bed, any colour is absolutely fine. And lastly, I have a stack of string here as it's going to be helpful for reducing snowfall. All of it will probably make sense later on. It's not necessary. If you have string on demand, bring it along. If you don't and you need to kill spiders for several nights, just leave it behind. It's really not necessary. Before we start building the cabin, I'm going to show you how to build a semi-automatic snow farm. Some of you may already know how to do this, so you can just skip over this part if you do. But if you don't, you're going to want to place down a crafting table and then 2 full snow blocks on top of it. And then we just want to add in 4 blocks along this top block. Doesn't have to be glass, I'm just choosing to do that here. So when you place your carved pumpkin in, you can actually see your snow golem that is formed. And pretty much what you can do is get your shovel and just mine this snow over and over and over again, getting as much as you could possibly need, which you can then use the crafting bench here to craft up some full snow blocks or snow slabs, whatever you need. It's just a quick, easy way of getting snow instead of destroying the landscape. So first things first, you're going to need to find a spot to build your cabin, and I'd recommend something of the snowy variety, of course. So I right here am on the edge of a snowy tundra biome and a snowy taiga biome, as you can see. And for those curious, this is the coordinates and here is the world seed. But once you found your location and you're ready to start building, you can grab yourself your dark oak logs, and we're going to place down 2 like this, 3 blocks apart. This is going to mark the front of the house. We can then come around to the 2 sides here, and we're going to place down 1, 2 and 3 more on both of the sides, all of them being 1 block apart, and we should have something like this, and all of these can be brought up 3 more blocks for a total of 4. Next up, we can come around to the 2 sides here, and we're going to add in 3 horizontal logs going all the way across, connecting those 4 pillars. Do that on both of the sides, just like this. And then for all 4 corners here, so starting on this pillar as an example, we're going to have 2 logs at the top horizontally pointing outwards, and then leave a gap and place down 2 more. And in the other 4 spots, we're just going to have some spruce fences like that. And this can then be done 3 more times for the other 3 corners. We're going to do some work on the roof before starting on anything else, and we're just going to begin on one of the sides here, and we're going to have 2 upside down spruce stairs next to this top log, just like that, and then we can have 3 slabs in the middle, and we can do the same on the other side here, and we're basically just going to do this for all of the steps. So when I do it on one side, you can do it on the other. So then we can move up a block where we're going to have a line of full spruce planks just like this. Same again over on this side too. And then the next level we can go up by 1 more, but we're just going to have the spruce full blocks on the outer block like this. And instead of having full blocks here, we're actually going to have some upside down spruce stairs, so that from the outside they do actually look like full blocks, but it's going to make our ceiling look a little bit nicer on the interior. So as you can see, you can't really tell a difference from out here. And then the last row, we're just going to have another line of full spruce planks. Now we can come around to either the front or the back, it doesn't matter right now, and we're going to start by placing down 7 spruce trapdoors on all of these blocks right here. So it should look like this. We're then going to grab some stripped dark oak logs this time, and from this dark oak log, we're going to have a horizontal line of 3 going all the way across. We can then switch over to some upside down spruce stairs and have 3 of them in place just like that. Then grab 2 dark oak fence gates, and we're going to have 2 of them placed sideways and opened up so that they're pointing into the log. So make sure you don't have something like this, for example, or like this. You want this part facing into the log. So as long as it looks like that, you're all good. You can then grab an oak trapdoor and actually head inside real quick and place it on top of this block and flip it up for a little bit of a window. And lastly, we're going to have a chain underneath this upside down stair with a lantern hanging down from underneath. Now what you can do is copy this round to the back and or the front as well, whichever you've not done. With that done for the front and also the back of the build, we can now come back round to where we want the front to be. Mine's going to be this side right here and come up to this top line of blocks. And from this one, we're going to count in 6 blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the 6th one, we want to go down to the right hand side and break that block right here. So if we're looking at it from the front, on the right hand side, this block should be missing. We're going to replace it with 2 full brick blocks with a brick stair above it facing inwards with an upside down one off the back, and then a regular brick block with a campfire surrounded by spruce trap doors to make ourselves a nice smoking chimney. The next step is to snowify your roof. So the first thing I'm going to get you to do is place down a single layer of snow on all of the roof blocks, just as I've done here. Which looks okay, but it could certainly look a lot better by simply adding in some more snow layers to get some different levels of snow. So if I just take this line here as an example, we're basically just going to add in some extra ones every now and again without really thinking too much about it, just to add a bit of snow variation, as you can see there. And then if I just do this one as well, you can kind of get an idea of what this is maybe going to look like. So as you can see, that already looks a lot better than this side as an example. So all you really need to do is just add in some mix match snow layers without any real rhyme or reason to all of the roof blocks that I have laid out here. With the roof all done, we can now come to one of the 2 sides here, and we're going to start off by placing a spruce stair at the bottom central block in the middle, and we're going to have 2 glass panes just above it like that, and we're also going to place a spruce trap door just to the side of it like so. We can then grab some stripped dark oak logs, and on the 2 remaining gaps we're going to go back by a block and just add in 3 of them like so, with 3 spruce fences just in front of it. And you can then copy this round to the other side too. Heading round to the back of the build now, we're going to start off with 2 horizontal stripped dark oak logs on those 2 spots with a glass pane in the center. We can then have 3 coarse dirt along the bottom here, and we're going to cover the front up with some spruce trap doors. Yes, that is going to get rid of the snow layers here, and you won't be able to place them back down, but we're going to remedy that later on, so just leave it be for the moment. We're going to have 2 upside down spruce stairs in the corners with a spruce trap door along the top and on the 2 sides just like that. And lastly, we're going to have a sweet berry bush right in the middle here. As for around the front of the build here, where the entranceway is going to be, we're going to start off with an upside down spruce stair on this block with our spruce doorway just on the back of this grass block right here, which once again gets rid of it, but we'll sort that out afterwards. We can then have 2 upside down spruce stairs, similarly to what we did round the back, with a spruce trap door here, and then 2 on either of the 2 sides. Flip them up just to make this nice archway, and that is the main building all done for the exterior. Let's now sort out these grass blocks on show, because if we're being frank, they don't really look good. I think they actually kind of ruin the build a little bit. So the very simple thing, what you can do is just simply replace them all with some full snow blocks that you can get from your snow golem farm. Obviously replacing the door when you break it, but then you kind of still get this cross shape, which sort of looks a little bit out of place. So maybe what you could do is just break a few of them randomly without really thinking too much where you're doing it all, and replace those with full snow blocks too, just so you don't get a pattern and you instead kind of get this natural lowered snow look. You could even maybe make a pathway out of it potentially, if that's something you wanted to do, a bit like this maybe. So that way you don't just get the few blocks that are changed out at a lower level, you instead get a bit of a bigger patch, which I think looks a little bit better. And obviously same around the back here, replace those 3 and maybe just a couple more like this. A quick tip that's probably worth mentioning, and that is if you are choosing to add in these snow patches, it would be a good idea to add in some string on the blocks that aren't already occupied by the trapdoors here as an example. That way, if it starts snowing in your world, you're not going to have more snow settling on top of the blocks here, as the string is going to block that. So obviously that part really isn't necessary. This whole adding in the full snow blocks isn't at all. It's sort of optional. It's definitely not needed, but the option, as I said, is there if you want it. So that is the whole exterior of our log cabin done. We can now head inside and start work on the interior, where it is awfully cramped, although I prefer the term cozy. So the first thing we're going to do inside of here, facing our berry bush window, is stick a smoker in the middle with 2 furnaces to the right, a crafting table and a chest to the left. We can then break away these 3 blocks in front of it, as well as the one we're stood on and the one to the left hand side of the door. Leave the one to the right hand side of the door as it is for right now, but we're going to dig down by an additional 2 blocks for 3 in total. And we're going to place some barrels in the floor, but we're going to place them in upside down, just like this. And then we can get rid of these blocks and pillar on out. You may want to actually light up that underneath area just so nothing spawns. And what we've got there is a nice floor pattern with some usable storage in the barrels. And now what we can do in the corner here where we don't have the barrel, dig down by 2 blocks, place in a lever to power the piston that's going to go above it. That's going to turn into a table, so we can just have a nice little flower pot on display there. And the very last thing to do is to just replace the dirt blocks that we can see. So stick a regular dark oak log there and a strip dark oak log under there. Just looks a little bit neater that way. So we have very limited space on this bottom level here, which is exactly why we're going to place down 4 ladders on those logs and make use of the second floor here. So the first thing we need to do up here, from this horizontal log, we're going to add in a line of spruce slabs connecting to that stair. And then we're going to have 3 spruce trapdoors placed into the spruce slabs, and then 2 over this side. Obviously we can't here because we have the ladder. So that way we have a ceiling to our first floor, and admittedly not a great looking one, but still a floor to the second level here. Now we can make this look slightly better by replacing these dark oak logs with some dark oak wood. That way it just makes it a bit smoother and you don't have the top texture of the log on show. And once you got all of this done, you can now walk around up here, and what we're going to do is add in a line of spruce trapdoors all the way across the top here. So this brick block marks the bottom of our chimney, which we're actually going to connect to a fireplace. So we're going to stick a campfire here on this block. Now don't worry, it's not going to burn down your entire cabin. That's not how campfires work. If you just lit the block on fire, yes, it quite possibly could. So make sure you're actually using a campfire here. I'm going to place 2 full brick blocks just beside it, with 2 brick stairs facing outwards on top of the brick blocks and an upside down one here in the middle. And then we're going to go ahead and stick 3 spruce signs in front of it like so, to make a nice little cozy fireplace, where just in front of it we're going to have a bit of a table and a chair. So a dark oak stair with a dark oak fence and a dark oak pressure plate just on top of it. And then over on this spot right here, just crouching when you're placing on the trapdoor, we're going to stick a bed and a double chest next to it. Lastly, I just want to add in a couple of decorative pieces, such as a couple of flower pots on the corners here with something to go inside of them, of course. And lastly, just behind the bed here, we're going to have 3 candles, and careful you don't misclick here, light them with a flint and steel. So there we go everybody, that is the cozy snowy cabin all done. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.